Hi
Spy.
there and welcome. Fucking Jesus
Sorry,
Christ.
sorry. Well, you can't say ein and then not.
I kind of from
Carry on.
counting down.
Yeah, if
Welcome
you
to
count it down,
episode-
you can, yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
to episode
Although
69
it
of the
it means A, actually. He should have said eins if he wanted the number one.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Can
that makes sense.
May
Yes,
I?
you can. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
Welcome to episode 69 of the ADHD Adults. Why doesn't it say nice in the script?
69.
Nice. Oh, 69. Good one. Oh, God, that means you wrote this. The unbelievably
My
still going.
God, Alex wrote something.
But continued. Oh, God. Anyway.
Why are you eating
I'm-
chocolate? We've just started. Literally. What are you thinking?
I'm sorry. I was just thinking I'm hungry. I've got some chocolate there. I'll eat it. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. I'm James Brown. Yeah, Alex did write this. I'm James Brown, the man who has made the same New Year's resolution not to drink blood every year for the past 350 years. Good one, Al. And as usual, I'm joined by the Poundland Dud Indoor Firework, Dr. Alex Connor.
Oh my
And
God, we were
Mrs.
talking about indoor fireworks.
Indoor voice, remember? In brain voice.
Yeah. We'll carry on. Alex, hi.
First Thursday episode ever in 2023. Hello.
And Mrs. ADHD, hi.
I'm just looking at what it says in the script.
Yeah,
Response
that's good,
or
isn't it?
not, you don't read this anyway. I don't know why we bother. That's so true. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I
Brilliant.
did write that. Hello, Sam. Hello, James. An unnecessary reminder that we started the podcast for ADHD educational reasons, but people always seem to ask us for more personal reflections, bonus content stuff. And now we have time for an extra Thursday one because my only other hobby is correcting James that the majority of the Gregorian calendar was actually adopted in 1583 and not 1582. As James wrote in the script.
hell.
And James has more time. I'm not sure. If you'd listened to the other podcast, Sam, that you were in, you'd know what that was.
Oh,
about.
really?
Yeah. Absolutely no idea.
Sorry.
James has more time. I genuinely don't
Do
think
it.
I can do this joke. James has got
you
more
can.
time because he's been letting his family do all the admin at the moment while he just sits there having a nice cup of tea. Sam's here as well, though, because James found out that when she said she was doing pole, it wasn't what he thought it was.
We will get onto that later. Anyway, this 1970s television presenter now hiding somewhere in Southeast Asia of a podcast is a tragedy in 3 parts. We'll discuss how the week between podcasts has been from our perspective as people with ADHD and as people involved in our ADHD community, as well as taking questions from the community. So remember to send those questions through on the socials or ideally the Discord forum. Then we'll talk about this week's theme, why we chose it, and what we feel about it. So, first of all, the usual question: how was your week? And I'm going to go to Alex.
Honestly, for the first time in about a month or two, it was fucking brilliant. I've been struggling with some health-related issues that have broadly resolved, not all of them, because I did a thing after 4 months that you need to do, right? Which is go to my doctor. And I wasn't dying, thought it was. So slightly embarrassing. I don't even want to share this, James. You know my blood pressure was so high, right? Ridiculously high. For months, 4 months. I had a 24-hour blood pressure monitor put on, and it turns out I'm afraid of doctors.
White coat syndrome.
Oh my God. But I didn't know it was possible. I didn't feel afraid. I felt.
You know what? I could have told you that that's what it was.
Really?
I knew there was nothing wrong with you.
I mean, I lost a litre of blood.
Like, physically.
you know. So, but to realise that it was that, and I'm not immediately dying, probably was good. And then my my sons came for Christmas because they're grown-ups and they, busy, but they came and yeah, I took some time off, as you know, from absolutely relaxed, and they needed to because I was not great, and now I am. So I'm still doing this though. What about you, Samantha? How was your week?
Oh shit! I hate this time of year. I hate it. I just spend the whole of the break that we've got thinking, fucking, I can't wait until this is over. I can't wait to go back to work. And then I know as soon as I get back to work, I'll be thinking, oh, why didn't I do more with that time that I had? And it's the same then when I get back to work. All working week, I'll be wishing for the weekend, and then the weekend comes, and then I wish that away because I don't want to have nothing to do. I want to be back at work, and I just feel like I'm wishing periods of time away to get to the next period of time that I still hate. So what's the point? What am I doing? What are any of us doing? But then, actually, I remembered the other night what you've both said to me. So you said, Alex, that time can be different for us. We live in a different time zone like flies. So this feels forever, but it's not. And James said that everything is temporary, good and bad. So I think, and something else, that I took a break off my meds for the whole of the Christmas break. And it's really affected my mood. Obviously, I've not been doing a lot, really. So I haven't noticed the focus thing, but it's really affected my mood. And also, my nan's about to die. Bob's died. Feeling lonely because James has been ill and not being able to go outside. Well, I can, but I didn't want to. So I think all that just kind of... Anyway, that's my week.
Right.
Phew.
I'm sorry.
No, that's what.
I'm genuinely quite sad for you. Well, I'm not sad, but
you're trying to pretend what it is to feel sad for somebody else because you don't have emotions.
What about you, James? I guess you have to talk as well, don't you, in this bit?
I do, yeah.
How's your week been?
I'm going to try and keep it related to ADHD because otherwise I could just talk obviously about all the sad things that have happened. But because I have been doing my fair share of the admin for Robert from Kidderminster's
I didn't want to do that joke.
Funeral, I've been living in fear for the last week because obviously I don't know if anyone can remember or watch the what's the Larry David sitcom? Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he wrote in the newspaper in the death notice, instead of beloved aunt, beloved cunt. And it was a really funny joke. Now, I had to write the eulogy for my dad in the newspaper, or the announcement. I've had to write my eulogy. I've had to do lots of stuff, booking, a hall and stuff. I've been living in utter fear that I've fucked something up. Yeah. And the day that this episode airs is Robert from Kidderminster's funeral. And I'm still, as we record this, worried that I've just got just one thing so monumentally wrong that it's going to ruin the whole day for everybody. And I've double and triple checked all the things that I'm doing, but that doesn't fucking help, does it? With ADHD, you still miss pretty fundamental things.
Want me to check it for you?
It's kind of all done now, mate. It's all gone in and stuff's been printed and churches have been booked and and stuff's happened. So so that's been when you
say ruin the whole day for everyone. I like the idea of you having a typo in the thing and someone going, well, I was looking forward to this all week. And now I'm miserable.
Do you know? Have you never been to? There are people that go to in fact, Bobbert used to go to funerals just because he was a bit morbid and he liked going to funerals. There are funeral crashers, mate, who will be there, on the basis that there's a bit of grieving going on. Yeah. So living in fear. Christmas, I just in a bad place because I woke up. I wasn't very well physically because this winter bug that's going around, but also just the thought of being around when Dad wasn't there. So I spent Christmas Day on my own. Not a great thing to do, but probably the best thing to do. So, and since then I've had a few wobbles. So it's been a weird couple of weeks.
We saw Robert though, didn't we? That was nice.
Yeah, we did. We went to see him in the Chapel of Rest, and that was actually beautiful. Right, next question, Sam first. What
Oh,
stupid
God.
thing have you been doing instead of what you
Oh
were
God,
supposed
there'll be
to?
loads.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm asking you first.
And actually, we've got a few weeks. So there was one thing that we had 1 week. Do you remember when I knew this was going to happen because it was building up to it? A spider fell in the bath with you,
Yeah.
and then Pam was sat screaming with a dead bird in front of her on the lawn.
And
She
Pam's
just
your
couldn't
nan.
move from it. No, she's nearly dead. She can't scream anymore. No, she just, I don't know if she found it or what, but she was screaming for me to do something with it, and I didn't want to. And then Pauline brought in a mouse and let it go. And I said, I knew something like this was going to happen because we've been building up to it all week. Then I was feeding the cats and I'd opened the dishwasher, to let the steam out. And I just dropped all the cat food all over the dishes that were clean.
Wait. Sam, why does a spider falling in James' bath means you've been leading up to your nan bringing a mouse in?
It's ominous, isn't it? It's all
I-
animal
Oh,
related.
you're a lunatic. I forgot.
Leading
Can
up
I-
to it.
can I
Then I
also remind you-
repeatedly put spicy breadcrumbs in my eyes. Sorry, carry on.
I just wanted to say, just to remind you, the question was, what stupid thing have you been doing instead of what you were supposed to be doing? Not list
yeah,
a
fair
load of
point.
random
Okay.
shit that happened in the last 2 weeks.
Unconnected and unportentous objects. that you've
Okay,
suddenly-
I'll stick to the subject now.
Yes.
We went round to stay with James's mum to keep her company, and I spent the entire night making a Lego orchid.
Presumably in another room, right?
No, right
No,
next to it.
No, right next to it. I had to several times say, Sam, do you want to just stop, take a break from that for a minute, and talk and stuff? And she was like, yeah, well, in a minute, and just carried on, completely hyper focused on making this Lego.
And then when we had the Zoom thing on Christmas Day, I literally dropped it 3 times and smashed it to bits.
Yeah.
So that was a waste of time. Oh, and in that vein, I made some paper lips and trod on them. I did some shit soldering and then burnt through the base of the helping hands, because it's plastic, and I didn't know that. Anyway, that's not what I should have. I don't know.
No, most of those words weren't even words. Did you say
Yeah.
paper lips? I don't.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're there. Well, you won't
So-
be able to see them.
So you can see, if you're looking on YouTube, you can see a paper heart. Ages ago, Sam bought some paper masks and paper stuff. Again on YouTube, she's now sewing it.
Next to Robert.
But she got all the instructions wrong. She claims the instructions were wrong, not she got
They
them wrong.
fucking
And they're-
were. No, they were wrong.
so
No, I'm not
where it was
having
meant
this.
where it was meant to be dotted, it was dashed, and therefore she bent and cut the wrong bits. And yeah,
They made me fuck it up.
well done, Alex. What have you been doing instead of what you were supposed to be doing?
Well, one of the things I was supposed to be doing. So I've been forgetting that I had things booked that I was definitely supposed to have been doing,
Like podcasts.
like podcasts, specifically podcasts. James, one of the first things, well, idioms, I guess, or like cliches James says at the start of this podcast was always, people with ADHD hate routine and they're a slave to routine. And I really like that because it's a balance, isn't it, of it not dominating your life, but we need it so much. And being out of work, and no, not out of work, but on holiday, and I lost my calendar completely.
Which
missed.
calendar?
Yeah, well, indeed.
Gregorian.
Gregorian, yeah. I didn't. James phoned me up and said, right, we're ready to start recording. All of you waiting. I was out in a forest. No memory of it. No, didn't even cross my mind. And I was thinking, how is that possible?
You've got ADHD.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't thinking. You don't think like that, do you? At the time, you always just shout at
yeah.
yourself and slag yourself off. I was genuinely like, well, as embarrassed as it's possible to get without, feeling embarrassed.
Without
giving a shit.
Yeah. Well, no, mostly I was thinking of a way I could blame James. How can I make this not my fault? But yeah. What about you, James? What have you been doing that was stupid?
There's just one thing I'm going to say because it happened today, and I think it's brilliant, and that is I forgot that Monday in the UK is a bank holiday, so I got up really annoyed, start work and got ready for work and got the work laptop on. And it was about 2 hours into working when Sam said it's a bank holiday. Because I was like, no one seemed, I don't think anyone's at work.
James.
Nobody's answering.
He
Amazing.
came downstairs and went, well, there don't seem to be many people at work today, so I'm getting a load done. And I went, well, that's because it's a bank holiday and nobody's working today. Why do you think I'm not working? He was like, what?
I've got a big
Yeah.
list of bank holidays on a wall in my office right here because I just don't know.
We're just about to do that.
Oh, I
Not
never
bank
look at it.
holidays. Yeah, this is the thing I didn't want to say to her.
Oh, shit. Oh, no, but I'm really looking forward to it, so I'm still
Well,
going to do it anyway.
Of course you are,
Find a
because you
big
get.
year planner. I can't
When
wait.
did you decide on doing this, Sam?
In the night. Last night. That was one of
the-
the things on my list.
When did you resolve to do that? Yeah.
Yeah, this New Year's thing change. Incredible.
I'm not buying into that shit. I'm going to do this, and I will do it this time.
Right,
Oh
just
my
to shut Sam up, we'll take a break, and in part 2, we'll take some questions and thoughts from the ADHD community. See you in part 2.
Did you see I hit myself in the lip with that then?
Alex, hi.
Aight. What's up? Hello, Governor.
Zebra. Oh,
Welcome back to episode 69. Nice. Of the ADHD Adults Podcast, part 2 for 2023. We are, as always, for this extra special Thursday episode, the first ever one, James, for 2023. We're taking questions from the community. I'm bigging up the Discord, the ADHD Adults, now discoverable because we have, a lot of people. The first question is from, I'm not sure, can I say? Yeah, Brenda. And it says, is it an ADHD thing that so many of our sentences start with, sorry? My friends are always saying, stop saying you're sorry, to which I reply, I apologize. I hate the thought that somebody might feel inconvenienced by something I did. Anyways, want to maybe have your attention. I'd love to hear a podcast on how ADHD and academia go together. How did you go to university and complete a degree and continue to study? I'm doing my MBA, and 18 months turned into almost 3 years. I'm almost 50 and starting to wonder if my studying days are done. Great question. We're going to an academia podcast, but let's deal with question 1. James, no, let's start with Sam. Sam,
Yeah.
do you start sentences with "I'm sorry" or feel like saying that all the time?
constantly. And people always tell me off and say, okay, can you stop saying sorry now? And I'm like, yeah, sorry. It's just, sorry.
That's just what Brendan said. Literally just repeated. My friends are always saying, stop saying you were sorry. To which I reply with, I apologize. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah, same, Brendan, same.
That's incredible, isn't it?
I wasn't
James,
listening.
it is. Yeah,
Yes.
I know. James, in your opinion, is it an ADHD thing? Your credible opinion.
I think it's a low self-esteem thing, and people with ADHD often have low self-esteem.
And maybe masking a bit as well, that you don't want to say, I've
I
got
mean, I think-
ADHD.
Well, I mean, situationally, because if it's just most sentences, or if it's asking a question, then it might. If you're starting a sentence that's about something that's your ADHD, it might be that you're masking or you're trying to divert. But for many of us, I would suspect that our low self-esteem means that we don't think our opinion is valid. We don't think taking up people's time with what we're saying is valuable, and therefore we start by de-weaponizing it by saying, I'm sorry, but here's something I want to say. I know you're not interested. And it often is a low self-esteem thing.
What about RSD?
Yeah, again, trying to de-weaponize it. It's certainly possible that if you start off by diminishing what you're going to say, you might internally think you're going to reduce the ability of the other person to diminish it in a way, I guess.
Yeah,
what about you, Alex?
Yeah.
Have you ever
I
said
really-
sorry? Have you ever
Only
felt-
after they're
have you-
dead.
Yeah, have you ever felt sorry? Because that's different, isn't it? Feelings.
Regret. Are we aware that grammatically there's two separate words with two separate meanings in the English language, both of which are spelt sorry, SORRY. One is I apologize, I've done wrong. The other one is I feel sorry for you that this has happened. They're entirely unrelated words, and politicians use them, weaponize them interchangeably. So I'm sorry for you isn't the same as I'm sorry I did this. Felt the first one a bit. Well, I've said it. No, I have. Of course, I've. God, I've hurt loads of people, and yeah, it really. Part of my recovery from mental health problems was going and making reparations. Actually, so yeah, I've said it loads. I try not to do it, but I get serious RSD, and I think it's part self-esteem, part RSD. Exactly what you said, I think, but masking as well, because I don't read the social cues and pay attention to them properly, like a lot of us, and therefore I don't sometimes know what's offensive. Sometimes I never fucking know. I'm unoffendable.
Give me enough time, mate. Give me enough time, and I'll work out how to. I was just going to say, I sometimes use it maybe a bit aggressively. Like if I disagree with somebody, the tone of that sorry that I sometimes do can be sorry, and then tell someone they're a cunt, basically. So I think there are obviously different ways in which it can be introduced. But I think it's an interesting question.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, and I'm really sorry you're a twat. But yeah, I like it. It works. So
right,
I'm masked because I'm sorry. Last thing, I mask like Sam does because I don't know when I've offended. I don't know which bits are offensive and which bits aren't. So I just assume it all is.
Oh, your face mostly.
Yeah.
Question 2 says, I don't know who it's from, but it says, guys, slightly old but totally relevant question. I'm not going to get booted from one of your talks. One of your talks, I guess that's my talks, isn't it?
Yeah, one of your special talks, James.
Yeah, for being a bit fidgety or maybe having to get up and go for a walk at the back. I'm always the one that gets tutted at, and my meds are not going to still be working mid-talk. So I'm a little afraid to attend. What I would say is, of course, you're going to get tutted at, and of course we'll all boo you. No, that's obviously it's obviously not true. I can't stand still while I'm talking. I don't expect people to sit still. Most people get up and fuck off halfway through anyway because the talk's not that good. So if you know, there was I sent Alex a really subtle gag from the US office about Michael Scott possibly having ADHD, where he talked about scoring some brilliant aisle seats, which is it's a little subtle kind of an aisle seat's great when you've got ADHD because you can get up easily. And listen, if you need to check your phone, if you need to talk to someone, if you need to get up, it's absolutely fine. It's one of the only areas you'll be, or arenas you'll be in, where at least 50% of the people there are going to have ADHD. And we've only had one person so far that's put their hand up like 3 minutes in and asked a question, which was brilliant. And even that isn't a problem. So it's absolutely fine if you do come to the talk, and I really hope you do. It's one of the talks. I really hope you do. It's all good.
I did respond to them actually to say that I'll be just pacing around at the back, kind of rocking back and forth, so they can always come and rock with me if they want.
Yeah, I was heartbroken by that question a bit. You know, it's as much as possible.
Yeah, I know.
I get it. I totally get it. In fact, when James very occasionally allows me to be in the room when he gives one of his little talks, massive James Bounding lights, and there's just like a crayon drawing of me with a balloon head. And right at the start, I say, I think, or one of us says, congratulations if you manage to score one of the edge outside seats so you can escape us anytime you need to. Because, and I haven't included your name here because I didn't ask, and I think it's quite a personal question. But yes, we're all like it. The idea of being trapped in your seat, one of the core diagnostic clinical criteria that psychiatrists look for, written down, is: do you find it difficult or painful to stay seated when seating would be expected? Therefore, we do not expect it. I just thought it was a really important question. You too.
Yeah,
do you reckon we've got time for the third question?
Can I interchange it for a different one?
Yeah.
If you got one, yeah.
I don't know if I want to now. I'm too scared, so I won't.
Do it. Sam, do it. Go on. I think it's good.
It was just because this is a question I'd really like to know myself, and you two might be able to tell me. So thank you so much. You've massively helped me to do this. Oh, actually, and this is another reason I put it in. Mrs ADHD, especially after listening to the Menopause podcast. Oh, yeah, that's why I wanted to put it in. Amazing. But also this. I truly believe my testosterone is heightening my symptoms. I'm hoping for some help. No, don't take it away. And I'm interested to see if there's any research/info with regards to this. Thank you so much. Take care too. So, yeah, that's something I wondered because My testosterone's about to run out and no one gives a shit, so I probably won't have much for longer. But yeah, I think it's made my symptoms better, but she thinks it's made them worse. And I'm really interested in the whole hormone thing and testosterone thing.
So we've talked before about female sex hormones, largely estrogen and their impact on dopamine. And estrogen tends to increase dopamine, and therefore when it drops off during perimenopause and menopause, that's where you can get worsened symptoms. There is some evidence that testosterone can increase ADHD symptoms, or the risk for ADHD symptoms. It's not a lot of evidence. And remember, in scientific studies, they give you the average. So if you've got 100 people, and say 60 of those, clustered in the middle, saw an increase in symptoms, but people at either ends either saw loads of increases or a decrease in symptoms. Just because the average saw an increase in ADHD symptoms, it doesn't mean that you will. So there is some evidence that testosterone in males and females can increase ADHD symptoms. Hormones are complicated. Testosterone and estrogen are interchangeable. There are enzymes which can convert one into the other. So it's kind of complicated.
Interrelationship.
I know. Yeah. What?
They have an interrelationship. They're not interchangeable.
Yes. Well,
Sorry.
but you can convert testosterone into estrogen, can't you?
Oh, okay.
Via the actions of aromatase, Alex. The enzyme that. Yeah, I've embarrassed you there, haven't I?
No. I thought you meant interchangeable as no. You can use
switch
either
them. No, but
It's
they
not
get
fucking idiot, Al.
Anyway, the short answer is yes. A testosterone may have an impact on your ADHD symptoms, but we are all individuals.
Sorry, I got excited and interrupted. My ADHD was showing there. Sorry. Dopamine and testosterone seem to have effects on each other bidirectionally as well.
Ooh.
So if you're taking something that increases dopamine activity, it's possible that it would change your testosterone activity and vice versa. And how testosterone actually works, this like really poor example of testosterone is man, estrogen is woman, is just false. So as James said, it's really, really complex. They can affect each other. So if you're on these and then you stop them, just keep an eye on what you're doing, what you're taking, what you feel like. Maybe a little, if you can be asked to do a mood diary, don't put your Excel document in a shared folder.
Brilliant. Well, has that answered your question, Samantha? Even though I answered it, you've forgotten. You asked me the other night, and I answered it for
Did
you.
I?
Yeah.
Well, James, Lego flowers don't make themselves, so why don't you?
They really don't.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll take a break, and in part 3, we'll give you our thoughts on the theme of definitely not New Year's resolutions and ADHD. See you in part 3.
All right, see you in a bit.
Trumpet. Welcome back to part 3 of episode 69. Nice, of the ADHD Adults podcast, where we're talking about the week in ADHD. And in the third part, we expand upon the really fucking pointless thing that we did on Monday, which is resolutions, not New Year's ones, in ADHD. So, Alex, what made you, because you did, choose the last idea for the theme?
It was New Year's resolutions.
Oh, resolutions.
Because it was because I wanted a special Christmas holiday episode.
You really did.
You hate them, don't you?
I do, yeah.
No, that is
the
why.
metrics are terrible.
We could have had one.
Oh, yeah. Sam, I don't want to be rude, but first you wanted me to record the Christmas podcast, and then you didn't want me to miss the Christmas podcast. Make up your mind. So I wanted the resolutions one, James, for New Year, because resolutions are almost designed a perfect way for ADHD people to just feel like failures. And I think it's really important not just to recognize that and laugh about it, frankly, but also to give the odd little nugget of a tip for how you might be able to try and avoid it a bit. That's it, really. What about you?
I didn't give a fuck what we did, to be honest. So I read the script and turned up.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought we were doing seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Brilliant. So on that note, Sam, was there any thought or tip about seasonal affective disorder that you forgot to mention during Monday's episode?
To be honest, I don't know a lot about it.
What about resolutions?
Resolutions. Do you know what? Don't fucking do them. Don't buy into that shit. Do you know, I realise I'm so full of contradictions all the time. Like I said, I never have resolutions. And then I said I stayed up all night basically making resolutions. And then I was remembering when I was at Pole, I was saying,
Ding.
I don't have goals. I never have goals. I never set goals for myself.
Yeah. Because you don't pay attention to what you're paying attention to, Sam. That is ADHD. Very, very common theme in ADHD.
Ah.
Can't
Yeah,
believe
and then
we're
I
actually
realise I look at my phone and it's full of things I want to do, which surely are goals. But I don't identify with the ambition. I don't have ambition. There's nothing
one
I
of
want to
you-
achieve in life.
Could
Would
one
you
of
say
the
that you
ambitions...
settled?
Yeah, very much so. I would say she has.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of your ambitions could be to literally just know the subject of the podcast you're broadcasting to, you know, like more than the population of Iceland is all I'm saying. I don't think Emily Matlis has to deal with this on the Newsagents podcast.
Who the hell is Emily Matlis?
Unbelievable.
You know I don't know people.
Never
Anyway,
disappointed me, no.
Alex, any thoughts
Yeah.
or tips that you forgot to say on Monday?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, this, and I don't know how to. I want to say it, but I don't know how to say it without
Do it.
getting sued. In inverted commas, negative drivers of what you need to
Bunny
do.
ears.
Rabbit.
Yeah, inverted commas. Negative drivers, like emotional negative drivers of things you need to do, are not always bad. Don't like saying that.
I don't understand what that means.
It means that if you really need to do something, it's really, really better in general, especially larger goals, to think about the positive elements of doing the short-term
Right.
reward, the short-term positives. However, stress isn't always, anxiety is bad always. Stress isn't always bad. Stress can, in fact, make you live longer, make you happier, depending on your reaction and the emotional connection to that stressful item. So, for example, when we're getting ready to give our talks, or your talk, James, where I'm sometimes allowed to stand next to you, you would say we are stressed, cortisol levels are high, we're anxious, we're not necessarily, we're looking forward, but also worried and don't, at that point you go, if I didn't have to do this now, I might back out. But it's still a broadly and generally positive
I
experience.
wish you would.
Because they're interchangeable, I think.
What are?
Anxiety and excitement, they're the same thing.
No. So anxiety is stress without a stressor, and it's bad. It's a disorder. Anxiety is really it's negative stress, broadly speaking. Or rather, anxiety disorder is stress without a stressor.
I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, okay.
Fab. I'll add my 2 pence worth, which is just don't beat yourself up when you fail to stick. If you remember that you made a resolution, that if you fail to stick to it, because as with so much that ADHD gives us, the inability to actually achieve something we want to achieve and maintain that thing it's the thing we can't do. So therefore, if you do say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna stop smoking, I'm gonna stop drinking, and you find that you don't, yes, Sam?
You don't have to stop straight
No,
away.
you
It's
don't have
just
to.
an indicator that I'm going to
Yeah.
come in at some point.
Yeah, no, I know, but it was so proudly up, like that.
I know, because I thought I'm going to put my hand
Jesus.
up.
The size of her biceps are terrifying. What were we going to say, Sam?
I was going to say, oh, I can't remember. Fuck.
Stop it.
Amazing.
Again, don't do this on the newsagent.
Amazing.
I know, no. Do you think, little question for you, do you think it's easier when making resolutions to
Yes.
start doing something rather than to give something up? I think so.
We dealt with this for quite some time.
Did you?
Yeah.
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 Just to recap.
Just scroll
Because you
up,
only
just
have to
scroll up.
cancel once. Do you remember? But when you have to not do something many times. Do you remember we said that a lot? So avoidance doesn't work. We talked about that, and the papers suggest that, the research suggests avoidance didn't work as well because you only have to do the thing once, and then you're not avoiding it. And then I said, sometimes it's hard because you did the whole story about your poll, and I said we can reflect this more generally. Do you remember, Sam?
So it's harder to give up smoking than it is to start doing pole. Basically. No, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It is true, but that particular example is because of chemical addiction. More than
yeah. And I'm not sure there are many randomized controlled trials where they've given people the option of giving up smoking or taking up pole fitness.
No, but it's easier to take something up than it is to give something up.
The research suggests, yes, that avoidance.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Resolutions. Oh, that's good. You know, it doesn't matter though, from a research perspective.
Or to anybody at all.
Can I draw this to an end because I'm just annoyed and
yeah,
I want it to stop. So that was episode 69.
Nice
of the ADHD adults, and it was the first Thursday extra edition of 2023, first ever one of 2023, and it continued after Tuesdays, not Mondays, episode on ADHD and not New Year's resolutions. If you like this nonsense, as usual, get involved, contact us on the socials or on Discord. We will see you next time. Take care.
Bye.
Merry Christmas to you all.
And a Happy New Year. That's how Santa says it.
Yeah.
Trigger warning, klaxon, 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 klaxon.